Hey, welcome to the Social 333 podcast. I'm your host, Chris Bentley. Today, my guest is Don Worley. Don, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Chris.
Tell the audience a little bit about yourself and what you got going on.
Well, I'm a lawyer and an actor and former comedian.
Well, that's what I was going to ask you about was the comedian and the acting part. But talk about a little bit of the business side because we most of our audience is small business owners, entrepreneurs.
Right. Well, I've been an entrepreneur all my life. In fact, I have a degree in entrepreneurship from the University of Houston, an MBA program. I went to law school at University of Houston, did a joint program, and the focus was entrepreneurship. So I've always been an entrepreneur. In fact, I have always pretty much had my own firm. I was as a lawyer, so never been a good employee for anybody else.
Yeah, I know that feeling. I've never been a good employee, and now I've gotten to the point where nobody will hire me.
Yeah, my friend said he was going to write a book. You shouldn't hire me about being an entrepreneur.
Talk to me about the comedian side and the acting side. I'm sure you've seen like a lot. Just kind of going through your career. Any cool stories? Any cool funny stuff that you want to share? I'm all ears.
Nice. Yeah, well, I was doing stand-up comedy, and this was back when you could, there were comedy clubs across the nation, and I was something called a middle comic. So you have a local guy or girl doing 10 or 15 minutes, kind of an MC. I would do 30 or 45 minutes, and then there'd be a headliner after me, and I'd make my $600 and all I could drink for a weekend.
Nice.
That was sort of the life. But yeah, I just being more of a type A personality, entrepreneur, wanting to make things happen on my own. I just wanted to do something where I could make some more money and be flexible to where I could do whatever I wanted to do. And so I thought, where can I use these skills of being on stage and making a presentation? And I landed on law because naive at the time, but after watching TV shows, I thought lawyers went into court every day, all day, and made presentations, and found out later you very rarely go to court unless you're practicing criminal law or maybe family law. So,
what kind of law do you practice?
Personal injury law across the nation. We actually did a TV show about my law practice called Power of Attorney that was on Discovery Channel. Now it's Amazon Prime, Tubi, going to a few other places. It's going to be cut into verticals now, since that's the big rage with the cliffhanger ending on each one. But it's just it's trial law, but we do it across the nation, and we do a lot of pharmaceutical and medical device law. If those commercials you see on TV, have you been hurt by this dangerous pharmaceutical drug or this medical device? And those lawyers advertise, they sign up clients, and then I work with those lawyers to handle the case.
Wow. Talk to me a little bit about being on the show or being on a show and just in general. Obviously I got this show, but I went on like a dating show, and there's like a tons of different stuff that you sign. I've heard all kinds of stuff about like once you're like kind of really make it, they'll come at you with like a soul sucking contract where you can't use your name, you can't do this, and they get royalties off of everything. That's kind of how it was with the dating show. Like I couldn't. Everything I posted had to say something about the dating show. I had to do certain things, and then if it went mainstream, then I couldn't use my name without their express written consult. And I kind of did it just for kind of a fun thing, and I thought I'd be famous. But the fame has a price, right? We'll talk about that maybe later. But talk to me about like the show. Like, what is that like? Because a lot of people, I'm sure, like just don't really realize what goes into making a show. I mean, it's a lot. There's a lot of cameras at you, a lot of film, a lot of because I know what is it? What's the show in California? The real estate company show, not the new one, but the old one, luxury home, $1 Million Listing, right?
Right.
With Josh Flagg and those guys. I was really into that, like when I first got into real estate here in Dallas, which is almost 14 years ago. But I got really into it, and I was like, oh, this is the coolest thing ever. And then Josh Flagg was talking about like what you don't see behind the scenes, which is recording every single day for hours and hours and hours of time. Not him actually going out and showing homes. They just record him doing like, the stuff for the actual show, the drama part, not the actual work part. Kind of talk about a lot of that stuff.
Yeah, that's true. And a lot of those people are actors. There might be a married couple coming to look to buy a home, but it's really
Like your friends.
two actors that are not married together, not married. They're just actors on the show. And then, yeah, there's a lot of work on, I won't call them reality shows. I'll call them unscripted shows.
Right.
Because it's not really reality because, I mean, if you followed me around being a lawyer all day, you'd be completely bored. So, and same with a real estate agent, no
Right.
offense, but
Right.
nobody wants to follow you around and watch you show homes to people who don't like it because they don't like the carpet or don't like the window. That's not, so you add drama and conflict and hire actors to create that conflict and play someone that's creating conflict. So that's what makes a show. But yeah, shooting 12-hour days is pretty brutal. Now you do have downtime as an actor when you're not shooting because they're setting up for the next shot or maybe someone else is in the scene. And that's when being an entrepreneur comes in because you can do your other work that either pays the bills or you enjoy doing away from your creative side. That's when that part comes in is during your downtime.
Has fame really bothered you? Because it's bothered me. I've had some guests that got famous, and they would tell me about all kinds of stories of, like, this one guy. He was on the show. He's a comedian as well, and like he went and he was on what is it? Is it like Restaurant Star? I think is what it is, or some a Food Star. He won the Food Star event with Gordon Ramsay, right? That show. And he went out and like he was getting a slice of pizza. He's in New York, right? He gets a slice of pizza and a soda, and buys somebody else like a slice of pizza and a soda. It's like a homeless woman, and like people were taking snaps, like people were, and he got like flooded with like, "Hey, I saw you at the pizza shop," and he's like, "Geez, like I can't even go get a slice of pizza." Have you like really experienced a lot of that kind of stuff?
Well, I haven't. I'm still pretty much not necessarily on the radar. I'm recognized most from a social media character I do named Pastor Shepherd as a televangelist. So I get called, somebody says Pastor Shepherd a few times. But other than that, I'm not necessarily a celebrity at this point, so I can pretty much roam wherever.
Nice. I've run into different things where I tell this story all the time. It's kind of a funny story, but I was out walking my dog at the time, and then there's like a couple in the elevator, and they're there and they're like staring at me, and I'm like, "Hey, how are you?" And they're like, "Hello." And I ride with them up to my floor, and we get out, and I'm like, have a great day. We're in Texas, so everybody's nice, right? So I'm like, have a great day. And then we roll, and like I get a ding on my phone before I even go into the door to my place, and it's them saying like, "Hey, we saw you in the elevator. Just wanted to say hello." And I was like, "Yeah, you're already in the elevator. Why did you just say hello?"
Yeah.
Like, it's just weird.
Yeah, sometimes people are, they don't want to say anything to celebrities because they think they want to be left alone. And most of the time they do and don't want awkward things like sign this for my kid or whatever. But just saying hello, just like a normal person, is normal behavior.
I don't know. I run into some stuff like that. Talk to me about the business side of the lawyer stuff. So I know some friends that got their bar and then they never really practiced because they never, kind of like a real estate agent, like they never really figured out the sales part of it. Like you become a lawyer and then people think that like, oh, like, I don't know really because I've never done it, but I know in real estate, you're like, okay, well, I became a realtor, and you're like, open up the paper and you're like, everybody, I'm a realtor. And you're like, well, if you're in Texas.
So is everyone else.
Yeah, if you're in Dallas, Texas, like, well, there's thousands of other people, right? 66,000 other realtors in the Dallas market. So, like, welcome aboard, number 66,001, Tell me kind of in your journey as being a lawyer, because maybe we got some people that want to become a lawyer. What is that like? Obviously, you pass the bar, and then you get into serving clients. Is it a lot similar to real estate where you're just trying to pick up clients and kind of do that kind of stuff and build a name for yourself?
I think there's, a lawyer that enjoys doing the detail work of being a lawyer, the research, the writing. Then you have the trial lawyers that enjoy going to trial. And then every firm has something that in the legal field you call a rainmaker, and that is the people that bring in the clients. And so my strength just happened to be perhaps just the entrepreneurship background or the entertainment background was to bring in clients. And I did that by getting lawyers, entertaining lawyers, selling to lawyers peer-to-peer to where they would refer clients to me and our firm. It's how I built my practice. But you just find your niche. And if you're not good at marketing, but you like being a lawyer, then just attach yourself to someone. Probably drive you crazy sometimes because they won't be in the office much and they won't do much work, what you consider to be work, but they're bringing in the clients in the door, which you have to have. So I would just, become partners or attach yourself to a person like that or join a firm that has someone like that. So that way you can just do what, your skill set. It's just, it's easy as an exercise of writing down what I'm good at and what I love, what I'm good at, but I don't necessarily love, what I'm horrible at, but I love, and what I'm horrible at and I don't like. Well, you take that first line that says what I'm horrible at and I don't like, and you immediately get someone else to do that.
Sounds like me in accounting.
Right. So you get an accountant, you get a partner that can do the accounting part, and you get someone that's good at it and they like doing it. So you pair what you don't like doing and what you're not good at with someone that's good at it and they like doing it, and you give that to them, whether it's delegating it to someone in your own business or it's partnering up with someone or hiring someone. And I think that's the key to, being fulfilled in your position as well, because those things you hate doing and keep pushing off, if you find somebody that is really good at it and likes doing it, that's a match made in heaven.
My sister's a master CPA, but like whenever I run into somebody and I'm like, oh God, like these QuickBooks, and they're like, oh, I love QuickBooks. I always look at them like a weird eye. Like, are you crazy? Like, what's wrong with you?
Right. Well, everybody has their skill set.
Yeah,
and what they like doing. So
Right.
you just find that person. So that's what I would suggest.
Talk to me about the series that you're starting up with Tara Reid, the actress.
Yeah, there's something new called verticals, and there's no magic to that term other than they're shot vertically like an iPhone. It's short form content that really, most of this all came out of China, like TikTok.
Mm-hmm.
And so the attention span of your average young person in America now is, around a minute or a minute and a half.
Or less.
Or less. And so not only is social media content like, even me on the Pastor Shepherd character, I started doing it again in January on TikTok. I'd done it on YouTube years ago and was a YouTube partner, but my videos were 3 to 5 minutes long. Well, now they're less than a minute.
Wow.
Because nobody
can hang on for that long.
Right. So for doing it less than a minute, but now even TV shows are going that way, and they're called verticals. And they started in China where there were sort of like soap operas with a minute and a half each, 90 seconds with a cliffhanger at the end. And you could watch the first 3 free, but then you would have to purchase the app or a token from the app or subscribe to watch the rest of them. And it turned into $1 billion industry. Now it's coming to the States, and if you Google it, everybody's getting into it, including Fox and Netflix now. So,
Wow.
So we just did one called Tara Reid's Murder Mystery Party, and it's sort of like, it's just that's exactly what it says, a murder mystery, but they're 90 seconds long, and we finished shooting that already, and it's going to be coming out in a month or so. So we're starting to shoot more of those vertical, short form content productions.
What was it like working with her?
Well, she's nice. I did a movie with her called Mandate that's going to come out soon, where I played a man and my wife and daughter think I don't have any friends. So they want to send me to counseling and set me up on mandates to meet a friend. And so Tara Reid was in that movie, and I worked with her. And John Lovitz is my counselor that sets me up. And Chris Kattan's one of the guys I go out on a mandate with. And so it's got a lot of recognizable people in it. But I've worked with her before. She's great. Yeah, she's actually a good actress. Yeah.
How'd you get into a lot of that stuff where meeting celebrities, meeting actors and doing different roles and different movies and shows and stuff like that?
Well, I usually put them together myself at this point. I did the YouTube show myself, Pastor Shepherd. I wrote everything. It's really no different than when I was doing comedy, and then I started doing movies. And I'm not a great screenwriter about what you do well and what you like doing. Right. Well, I don't do it well, and I'm great at writing 3 to 5 minute comedy sketches, which I did for Pastor Shepherd and a stand-up comic, and probably could have gotten a job on a show like Saturday Night Live or some type of comedy sketch show as a writer. I'm good at that. I am not good at sitting down and writing a 100-page screenplay. I just not good at it, and I don't enjoy doing it. Right. So I will get screenplays and I'll rewrite them. So I've done rewrites on several, but I get this. The thing is to have the script. So once you have the script, then it's easy to put it together with getting actors and putting the money together.
Talk to me about what you've learned, like lessons that you've learned running companies. Talk about some of the companies that you've run before I get into this question. Have you run like sales companies? You run when you say you're like entrepreneurs, are you like selling products?
Well, the main one has been my law firm that I've always ran my own law firm. So
Wow.
getting clients in and getting good lawyers and good paralegals to help with the day-to-day workup of a case and doing mock trials to get ready for a real trial. So that's the main business I've ran. I have other businesses too, the movie production company that's doing these movies. And then I also have a company that I'm part owner in called Brandon Entertainment. And what we do is we get brands to pay money to be integrated into a movie or a television show. So like, a gun manufacturer paid money to be the guns in Lone Survivor with Mark Wahlberg. And it's not really product placement like a Pepsi sitting on the table. It's like Helen Hunt and Mel Gibson talking about drinking a Pepsi in the movie What Women Want. So I own part of that company too, and we talk brands into putting money in the movies and talk producers into hiring us to get brands to help fund their movie. And then also, speaking of real estate, my wife and I have always done like buying houses and rehabbing them, and either flipping houses or keep holding on to them and renting them. But yes, we've bought a lot of homes. Back in the day, we bought a lot from the Home Investors franchisees, and didn't do really a lot of the foreclosure action, but just for same thing, referrals. My skill set is selling to peer-to-peer. So I would go to other investors and say, when you can't do, for whatever reason, it's not in your area, it's above your price point, you have too many to be able to do it once, whatever, refer that to me. And yes, I paid a little bit for that, call it a flip fee, broker fee.
Right. Finder's
fee, acquisition fee. Yes, I paid for that, but I'm also not paying for advertising like Home Investors is with billboards everywhere. Right. So that's my advertising cost, is what I'm paying a person to flip a deal to me.
What do you think the most valuable lesson that you learned? And I got another question after this one. With any of the businesses or acting or being a comedian, anything, like if you were to like really dial it in, like what, if you're going to tell somebody, or just me, like you just met me, right? So like, what would you tell me, like your most valuable lesson you learned?
Well, I think that you have to just start doing things on your own, because, help will come. And once you start doing things, people will come, but you can't just sit and wait for the phone to ring. And let's say, for instance, you want to be an actor. You can't just wait for your agent to call you to go to an audition somewhere to read for somebody else. There's YouTube, there's TikTok, just start making your own stuff, writing and making your own stuff, and start getting out there. And when people start watching it, people will come to you. And same thing with houses. Just start going out and getting business and going to meet people and ask them if they're buying or selling a house, instead of saying, okay, I'm a realtor, someone come hire me.
Right.
So just start doing it. Let's just go. The hardest, it's like the gym. The hardest part about working out is going to the gym.
Right.
Once you're in the gym,
it's easy. You're already there.
You're there.
Right.
The hard part is getting there. So just start.
If you were to go back, and this is my fun question I've been asking a lot of people today. If you were to go back in time and looking over your career, whether it be entrepreneurial, whether it be law, whether it be acting, if there was one thing that you could change to fast forward you quicker to where you are now, what would it have been?
Well, I think from the filmmaker and actor point of view is stop waiting for someone else to make your dream happen. I would say go do it. Can't get a camera. Now it's an iPhone has a camera on it that can shoot a movie. Just start doing it. Start shooting what it is you want to shoot. And if you can't write, same thing, team up with someone that can write, because a person that's a writer normally can't go make a production.
Right.
Or want to.
Or be on camera, right?
Or be on camera.
Right.
So team up with that person. Look for ads. Put an ad in writer magazines at universities where has an English program or a creative writing program. Put a notice up there looking for someone to help me with scripts, and team up with that person that does that well and enjoys doing it. And you do what you enjoy doing and what you're doing well. If that's acting or you like behind the camera, there's a million actors, and There's more actors than there are real estate.
Right.
So actors are not a problem to find. You just say, hey, here's a notice. I'm looking for an actor, and they will come. So if you want to be behind the camera and then you don't know about writing, just find a writer. So I just find the people that do what you're not able or willing to do.
I'm going to ask you this question, and then I'm going to wrap it up. But I was in here shooting some video for my other YouTube channel, and we were kind of talking about the creative side of it. And when you first start out, and correct me if I'm wrong, but when you first start out, it kind of feels like you're shouting down a hall, right? Like there's nobody there, and you're like, hey, this is really awesome. You should watch this. And it's like, you don't know if somebody's going to watch it. You don't know if somebody's going to hear it. You don't know really anything. And you just continue to make content in the hopes that somebody's like, wait a second, I hear something in the hall, right? And then it's like, let me tell my friends about it. Have you really kind of experienced that, or kind of like on the same page with me on the creative stuff?
Absolutely, 100%. And what helped me get past that is I'm doing this because I enjoy doing it. And also something that really helped me when I first started doing the Pastor Shepherd videos again, when I was only getting, 1,500, 3,000, 5,000 views per video. I looked at it this way. When was the last time as a comedian I performed and 5,000 people saw it?
Yeah.
There might be 50 or 60 people in a comedy club room.
Right.
So think of it as, wow, 5,000 people watched me do my skit. Not, why do I not have 1 million views and 1 million followers? And why am I not a content creator influencer? Why am I? Think of it as you're performing for that. If 50 people saw your video, I performed and 50 people saw me do that. Think of it like that. Like I'm doing what I like to do, and I'm so glad that people are watching.
Do you think that holds back a lot of people? The lack of likes or views, or...
Yeah, people will try... it's hard to do social media. First of all, you have to post content every day, at least once a day, if not multiple times a day.
Right.
To even get anybody to start following you. And that's hard work. And people will do it for a week or two and then be like, oh, nobody's watching, I give up. Well, yeah, you're only going to get 2 or 3 views as you start. But then that's like you said, eventually people are like, hey, I hear something down the hall, and they'll start watching it, or so, you'll find one. And then who knows, one will pop and go to 1 million views. It's just, and there's no magic formula. The ones that we've been doing them, I guess, since January, redoing it. And I guess 3 of them have gone over 1 million. One's 5 million, but you didn't say, hey, some of the other ones you thought, wow, this is fantastic. Everyone's going to love this. And you have like 20 views. Yeah. Right. And then you have one that's just goofy and just did it the spur of the moment, and it gets 4 million views, and and people talking about it. And I mean, I had an example of TikTok. My son was pledging a fraternity at Texas A&M, and I went by to one of his parent fraternity parties, and I posted a TikTok video, and I said, well, I'm at my kid's fraternity party. There's no dancers. There's no mechanical bull. These guys don't know how to party. Something goofy. Right. Got like 1 million views in 24 hours because all the people of that parent age started talking, yeah, when we were young, we did this and we did. So it blew up, right? And so my kid calls me and says, Dad, I need you to take that TikTok video down. I'm like, why? And it's like, well, my fraternity brother says it makes our fraternity look bad. And then they made him dress up as a mechanical bull for Halloween. But yeah, but I'm the only dad that's ever asked by his kid to take a TikTok video down, I think. But the point is, just keep making content. You're not going to know which ones people are going to like, which one they aren't. You just do it. And, as a comedian, at the point where I got successful as a comedian is I was like, this is my show, like it. Some of you like it, some of you won't, but I get the same $600. So it's not a total disdain for the audience, but it's being comfortable that this is my content. If you like it, wonderful. If you don't, it's still my content. Nice. Still my voice. Right. This is my voice. Not everyone's going to like me. In fact, a lot of times videos are driven by haters more than they are by likers. So, and Jake Paul said that, he said, or Logan Paul, I can't remember which one it was. That's the fighter now. But I went to the fight he did here in Dallas. But he says, half the people here hate me and want to see me get beat up, and the other people here like me and want to see me win. But either way, I sold tickets. Right. And got paid, right? Right. Wow. Don, if somebody wanted to get in touch with you, maybe learn more about your law practice, or just want to ask you some
things about being a comedian and actor, where would they find you?
Oh, yeah. Well, McDonaldWorley.com is the website, and you can contact me off of there. But then the Pastor Shepherd TikTok is at Shepherd Prayer Hour. So I check my messages on that too. And so
Nice.
either way.
Don, I appreciate you being on the show.
Oh, thanks for letting me be here. This was a lot of fun.
Awesome. Thank you.